That's actually a very good topic we can go over here. Is what happens when you are trying to learn something and you feel like you're not pushing yourself, or let me put it this way, you're not learning anything anymore. You're drawing and drawing and drawing and just you're stuck. You are kind of just doing the same thing, repeating the same thing over without actually learning. What do you do? Well, there's a few different things you can do. One is, and this is my favorite thing to do, is find your weaknesses. So when I was doing gesture drawing, for example, I've talked about this before. When I would do gesture drawings, as I would draw, I would always tend to draw the heads very small. So I would draw out the head first, something like that. And then as I was drawing out the body, I would start making the body like really huge. And it's like, oh, wait, this isn't matching up anymore. So you find your weaknesses and then you try to address them. Once you start doing that, you can kind of give yourself specifics to focus on and learn how to be better there. Now, at some point, you're going to address all the weaknesses that you can see and spot very easily, and you're going to reach a point that, what do you do next? How do you improve from here? At that point, what you can start to do is push yourself to, how to say this, to improve specifics. And by improve, it would be something like, let's say I want to learn how to do a better leg. Instead of just doing a leg that's kind of, let's say something like this, and then you get the foot. I'm just drawing really quick here. So skinny little leg, and I'm not sure if I understand the musculature at all. A knee goes there. Okay, now you're going to sit down and really study. Learn the names of the muscles. How do they flow? Where do they go on the body? So, for example, for a leg, let's see if I can remember. You've got your hip that comes through here. Your femur attaches there. And the leg has kind of a dip right here, which attaches to the femur, comes through, down. You've got a muscle that attaches across, down into the pelvis area, right here, comes through, down. Your quadriceps come through and down across here. So you start to really break down the anatomy of whatever it is you want to know. It could be the hand, it could be the face. And you're trying to get a deeper understanding of that topic, whatever it is. And you can start to push your knowledge in that sense a little bit more. Now, from there, you can also learn how to stylize. So do master studies of other artists. Find an artist you really love and see how they draw different things. So for example, I see a lot of artists when they draw an arm, they really push the straights versus curves. So normally, for example, an arm, if you look at your upper arm here, it's kind of got two curves to it, like this, on both sides. And I'm not using my normal drawing brush. I have to be careful I don't get big thick lines here. So you get all of these curves going into your arm, and instead you'll see a lot of artists simplify it. So one line is going to be just really straight, and then the other one is going to be more exaggerated, something like this, and then straight, and then exaggerated, then into the shoulder there. So you get these different styles, and you can push this more and more and more. So you're trying to find what works for you and push that understanding of either anatomy or stylization. And it's also giving yourself a goal. what do you want to do? If you're just doing the same thing, you're not pushing yourself forward. You want to have an end goal. Do you want to get faster at drawing? Do you want to understand the anatomy? Do you want to reach a certain style? If you give yourself a goal, it gives you something to work towards. If you're just drawing to get better, that's a vague goal. Give yourself a specific goal. I want to understand the anatomy of the arm. I want to know the muscles of the arm. I want to be able to draw a realistic hand, or I want to draw a stylized hand. If you try to do everything at once, it can get very discouraging. So give yourself goals. What I typically try to do is, if I'm trying to learn something new, I'm going to give myself usually 1 week is kind of short, but I could give myself a 1 week goal. So something I want to accomplish in 1 week. Something I want to accomplish in a month. Something I want to accomplish in a year. And then you could even go like a 3-year goal. So a week goal, so something you can do in a week could be like learning the anatomy of the arm. Maybe a month goal is to learn the to be able to draw the anatomy correctly. A year goal is maybe to be able to draw the whole character. 3-year, maybe something even bigger. And this is all dependent. Maybe you could do the whole anatomy in a month. It depends on how much free time you have. But give yourself goals and guidelines that you can push towards versus just draw better. That's one of the worst things you can do. And this is the same with animation. When you're learning animation, if your goal is to be a better animator, what constitutes a better animator? Nothing really. It's just being better than what you were yesterday. Technically, if you improved even just a little bit, goal complete, you're done. Or you'll never reach it because we can always be better and better and better. But if you put a specific goal of, I want to understand the bouncing ball. I want to understand appeal in animation. I want to make my poses stronger. You can work towards that. And once you accomplish that, that'll increase your overall animation skills and you will be a better animator. So give yourself those specific goals. And this goes for everyone. Whenever you want to learn something, it's so hard to just go in and try to do everything all at once. So for example, going back to that She-Ra sculpt that I had done, there's a lot of things that went into that sculpt, and here's a bunch of different clothing variations I had done as well. When I started this, I had never done a character sculpt before. This is the first time I've done character and clothing ever. If I had just started and tried to get to this final product right here, I wouldn't have learned how to do it because there's too much. How did you do the hair? How do you do the face? How do you do the eyes, the clothes, the hands? It's so much. But the way the course was broken down is that you just do one part at a time. You start with just the block out of the body. You start then with just the anatomy of the body. You start then into the face and just the face. As you go, eventually you do the hair. And then you spend a week just doing clothing. So each week you would just have something new to focus on and that one specific thing to focus on. And that really helps you just progress gradually. And it's nice when a course is set up like that because it means that you can just follow the course and go along. But you can do that for yourself too, where you set your own goals. You want to learn a certain something. You have your end goal, maybe a 3-month, like in 3 months, I want to be able to do this. What are the steps that I need to do in order to do this? So hopefully that helps.